Lance Hall here for Let's Discuss with Lance Hall. Happy to welcome Julia Poorman to the show tonight. Julia, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing excellent. I got your new song from Shauna O'Donnell, the lovely Shauna O'Donnell. I love that woman.
Yes.
And I
She's
love your
awesome.
song. Really, really
Thank
good
you.
stuff.
Thank you so
Um,
much.
you co-wrote this. I'm hoping I'm going to get his last name. Is it Danny Roselle
Yep.
from the Mylars?
Yes.
Who you met in a songwriting class in Asbury Park that he was teaching along with Glenn Burtnick?
Yes, that's correct. You know your stuff.
I texted Danny.
Yes, that is how we met.
Cool. Well, actually, first I texted Quig, who I interviewed a number of years ago, and then he got me in touch with Danny.
Very
Um,
cool.
how did you come about to take that?
Um, well, it's kind of funny. I was actually just starting to get back into music after quite a long break, and I was dropping my guitar off at the music store downstairs, which apparently they're two totally separate businesses. And I just happened to run into an instructor there, and he was asking me if I was in a band, and I was like, no, but sounds interesting. And he's like, well, when you're done picking up your guitar, come upstairs and check out the facility. So I did, and I really liked the thought of joining a songwriting class. I thought that was really cool to be able to co-write with people. And I got signed up with Danny right away, and we just hit it off and worked really, really well together. And yeah, the rest is history. About a year later, here we are putting out our first single.
That's awesome. He quoted, as I will quote him, to saying that you are super talented. You have a great knack for lyrics and hooks.
Aw,
So,
he's awesome.
but in doing a little bit of background on you, you grew up in the Finger Lakes region of New York, correct?
I did, yes.
Started writing poems and stuff at an early age. You always had a journal and a pad beside you and stuff. So you've always been creating from an early age.
Yes.
That fascinates me, and because I've never been able to write poetry or anything. Um, something you just sort of had a natural instinct for, correct?
Yeah, I think just lyrics and yeah, lyrics, rhymes, poetry, and then eventually just putting that to melodies just has always been kind of natural to me.
Now, how about a musical background then with melodies? Did you take music classes? Do you play like an instrument or anything?
Well, it all started when I joined orchestra. I
Okay.
know, I kind of, not really. I started playing violin as little kids do. You try something, you try one instrument. I started with violin, then I moved to the flute. I did both of those for like a year, but I knew I really loved music, and I loved being in an environment just surrounded by, beautiful melodies and whatnot. So that kind of carried me into like middle school, high school, where I started to pick up my guitar and I started to really, write music. But yeah, it's, I've always kind of had it in my blood.
Now I'll ask this, and I always get mixed answers. Some are yes, some are no on this. Were you like a good student, like in school, like an English class? If you had to do a
Ah,
composition, something like that. Were you a good English student, or is this something you considered sort of separate?
so it's kind of funny because at school, I never excelled at school. Like some of my friends were just really, really book smart and did really well. But my best class was always English. And that's for a couple of reasons. I actually enjoyed writing. I really liked the process of it. I would always look forward to when I had like a cool paper to write. Whereas my friends were like, oh, that's the worst. I'd rather study for a math test. And I'm like, no, no way. I'd rather write a paper. But my mom was also an English teacher, and that
Okay.
was super helpful. So I always was able to get a lot of guidance from her and influence from her. And I'm sure that's a big part of why I'm doing what I'm doing, just subconsciously, kind of always listening to her speak eloquently and all of that.
Sure, that's awesome. That is really
Yeah.
awesome. Now, while the song is new, you talked about how you had done music before. You actually put out an EP in 2012, and you
Yes.
pressed a whole bunch of CDs and stuff, and then you decided, yeah, I don't really want to do this right now.
Yes.
What
Yes.
happened?
Um, Well, a lot of things happened. I think I was just at an age where, middle school and high school, it's kind of like a very, I don't know, closed environment, safe environment. You're living at home with your parents, and you're studying, and you're going to school, and you got your hobbies. Um, about 2012 is when I graduated high school, was also the year I put out that EP. And I ended up, venturing into college and trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And at that point, I was definitely confused because I knew I loved music. I knew it made me really happy. But I was also, a little afraid that it would never pay my bills, or I didn't know how I was going to make it as a musician. So I ended up just kind of putting my focus elsewhere, and I put music on the back burner. I never stopped doing it. Like, I never completely stopped. It's just like, maybe a couple weeks or a month would go by and I wouldn't pick up my guitar, which was very different from when I was in high school.
Very cool. Did
Yeah.
you find through that hiatus though, you sort of still kept developing though, and you were like really prepared, like say when you walked in this class and met Danny,
Yeah.
the culmination of everything, the music, the college life, and
Yeah.
everything, and you walked in there just a little bit more prepared than say when you started, obviously.
Yes, I would definitely say so. I think just coming now back into music, I was 27, just turned 27 when I had started the class. And I had a lot more life experience. I had a lot more things to write about. And I had been writing here and there, and, throughout that, multiple year stint, I had been writing. But it really started to accelerate once I joined this class. It was just like I couldn't stop. And like, since then it's been just many, many songs, probably as many songs in that one year as in this previous 7 years.
So it's sort of like opened a portal for you.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. Absolutely. And I believe that. I'm a very energetic person, and I really think it was meant to be at that time, that day. And it's kind of crazy because it's like, if that other guy hadn't stopped me. His name was Chris, by the way, and he's another amazing instructor at Lake House. But if he hadn't stopped me that day, I literally would not be where I am right now. Like, I would still be playing music, but I wouldn't be working with Danny. I probably wouldn't be part of Lake House. Like, I wouldn't be here having this conversation with you. So it's just really cool how things all really fall into place and kind of domino off each other.
Timing in life, when you look back on it, is pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Even when you don't think it's amazing at the time, you're like,
Yeah.
man, this sucks. And then you look back and you're like, wow, like that all just, it happened the way it was supposed to happen. And look where I am now.
Mm. Were you, and the key to that, a lot of times, if you can, is to be in the moment and realize it. Was there at any point where you started that class and you were like, yes, this is it. This is where I'm meant to be right now? Or is it since you've been able to look back on it?
I knew, honestly, before I even started the class. It was really weird. It was like the day that Chris walked me around and showed me the facility. I was so excited, like anxious, excited. I just knew that this was where I needed to be, and these are the kinds of people I needed to be around. And then, sitting down and working with Danny and like, playing him some of my songs. I'm like, hey, this is a song I wrote 5 years ago. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
And to be able to get his feedback and analysis and help was just, I knew I was in good hands, and I just knew that this was where I was supposed to be. It felt good, and
Yeah.
that's really what I go off of, is like, how does it feel? Not how does it look on paper, but how does
Right.
it feel? And it felt really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the tune. Already got it. I love the song. I say it was born from a bike ride through an idyllic neighborhood.
Yes.
Talk about it. Is this now, did this sort of just come out of the cosmos as you were writing? Had you started that morning with a thought? You know?
Um, I always have melodies in my head, right? So like there's just always something, like whether it's somebody else's song or it's, one of my own. There's always something going in my head. So, the way that I remember it, because I did write this song originally, probably like 4 years ago. And then Danny really helped me craft it when I joined the class. This was one of them, one of the songs I brought to him and was like, hey, what do you think? Um, and yeah, so I was just like riding through and, like looking at everybody's kind of picture perfect life on the outside, right? And
Mm,
it's never what you think it is. Nothing is as we would compare our lives, like our parts of our lives, to somebody else's life. It's it always looks better on paper, right?
mhm.
Um, Yeah, so I was just riding through and just kind of like wow, I had the thought. I was like, do you think they ever argue? Like there's this couple like bringing groceries together or whatever. And I was like, do you think they ever argue? Because they got it all. They got a huge house, like, they live near the ocean, they've got plenty of cars, plenty of money. And yeah, and then I don't know, just little by little, like I just started like writing a verse. And then the hook came to me, and already got it. Like I've already got it. Stop comparing your
Yeah,
life to somebody else that you don't even know. You don't know their story. They could be completely unhappy. And
exactly.
yeah, you would never know it.
That's cool, that analysis you had with the people bringing the groceries in. I read a book, I think it was Clarence Clemens' book a number of years ago, and he talked about how him and Bruce used to go to Atlantic City, and they would sit on the beach and they would pick
Mm,
people out, a girl walking by, a couple, a guy standing there. And Bruce would I'm talking about Springsteen, of course,
yeah.
would come up with these stories, that he would,
Mm.
and obviously incorporate it into some of his songs. Well, here's this guy, he's probably left his apartment,
Yeah,
and
I do
come down there
that.
to the beach, and he's hanging out
Yeah.
and he's looking for this one chick, hoping to find her, and instead he's going to go back, and eat a microwave mac and cheese or something.
Yeah.
These
You
whole
know their
little
whole life
visionettes.
story.
Yeah, you know
Yeah.
that's cool. That's a true gift. Um, love the video as well. Let's give a shout out. Do I have who did it? Stephen Nathan directed,
Yes.
correct?
Yep.
And produced by Art of Chaos. Had you worked with them before at all?
I had not, and I actually got their contact through Danny, who had worked with them before with the Mylar stuff. But they were amazing to work with. I'm still working with him. I plan to work with him in the future. So yeah, he did a great job.
What I liked about this video was sort of the same thing when I watched the video for the Mylars, when they covered Let's Go.
Hmm.
You guys' videos is like watching a music video, but it's like watching a whole movie at the same time.
Yeah,
It- it's
that's sort of what
so
I was
close
going
to
for.
home. I mean, where you take it, you listed all the people in the video at the end. Were these like friends of yours? Anybody you knew, family members, stuff like that?
Yeah, so actually, one of the other instructors, the guy that introduced me to Lake House, he was the husband. So yeah, that was Chris, and then he knew Mike, and who played the wife.
Okay.
Um, Georgie, the girl that was like doing her makeup and taking pictures of herself, she's super talented, and she played bass in one of my bands. Um, yeah, so I mean, everybody, and then I had a couple friends come in. I had my one friend Katrina come in from Long Island, my friend Sydney and Louise, they came in. Yeah, it was just like a really cool collaboration of people that I knew. But the fun fact is, the couple, like the couple that was kind of swaying and singing the song, getting their pictures taken, I did
Right.
not know them. And I just asked them because they were literally getting a photo shoot that day, and I was like, "Hey, do you guys want to be in the video?" And they were down, so I was like, "Yeah, come
Cool.
on in." Yeah.
That was Amy and Eric, correct? The
Yes.
engaged couple.
Yes,
That's
yes.
awesome.
Yeah.
Can you imagine going to have your pictures taken and you show up in a music video?
Right. And
Wow,
I
that's
was like, the music video launches on 11/11, and they're like, we're getting married on 11/11. I was like,
oh,
oh, this
that's
is so
cool.
cool. Yeah.
I love the scenery. I'm hoping I'm going to get this right. Is it the beach, Deal Beach in New Jersey? Do I have that right?
Yes. Believe it was like Hathaway Beach, in
Okay.
Deal. Yeah.
Okay. That looked pretty cool. Then of course you're Asbury Park, and then you're up in, is it Hartshorn Woods?
Yes.
Very cool as well. All areas local around there, correct?
Yeah, yep, they're all pretty local. Hartshorn's amazing. Just a nice little area to go for a little hike and get out in the woods. There's not too many hills in New Jersey, so it's the one place you can go and actually like go up a hill.
Well, speaking of that, you have a picture on your website, which we'll give that out as juliapoorman.com. Of you, you look like you're standing up on top of like a really high mountain.
Yes.
Where is that
So
taken?
yeah, so we actually took a trip up to Vermont in
Is it
September.
is that J Peak?
It is Mount Mansfield.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and we go there every year. So actually, my fiance Michael took a little video footage of me. So actually, when they're in the music video, when we're in that bathroom scene, and Georgie's like crushing all her makeup up, and then
Yep.
she like sees the phone, right, and she sees me go, "Call it from the mountaintops."
Right.
That is actually footage from me on a mountaintop in Vermont, and they've just green screened it in. So we wanted to make it look cohesive, but it actually wasn't all filmed in the same place. So it was
Cool.
pretty cool.
Now, had
Yeah.
you guys gone up the toll road, or did you ride the gondola up the
Yes.
cliff house? You're up the toll road.
Yes. Yes. We always go the toll road. I've ridden the gondola one time, but we usually drive the toll road and then we hike that ridge line.
Sure,
So I'm
sure.
assuming you've been there then.
I live about 30 minutes from Stowe.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah,
Very
so
cool.
yeah. So I tell you what, next year when you guys come up, we should get together.
Absolutely.
I
I would
think
love to.
that would be awesome. Yeah, I live in a little town called Greensboro. We're about 30 minutes east of Stowe. So
Okay.
nice. Very,
Awesome.
very
Very
cool.
cool.
So you've got this video out and this song which just came out. Now I understand you recorded like 4 songs with Danny.
Yes, I've recorded 4 with Danny so far. We are working on another now. So I think we're just always going to have something in the works.
And your approach is just to rather than put out like a full length, just keep releasing singles and videos and keep everybody invested, that way.
As of right now, yes, I think so. Eventually I'd like to put out a full length album or at least just an EP. But for right now, yes, I'm just going to keep putting out singles because I want to keep it fresh and new.
And that's what a lot of bands are doing nowadays, it's just always putting out something, because if you put out like a full length and then don't do anything for even 3 months, it's like, where'd Julia go?
Yep. Yep.
We
And
live
it's
in
like,
such
oh,
a
I just gave you 12 songs, but
we live in such an instantaneous world.
yes. Hmm.
So vocally, I heard in your voice like a Paula Cole influence in some of your voice. Was she an influence on you at all?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Yeah, I do listen to a lot of like Alanis, Paula, like a lot of like 90s,
Hmm.
mid 90s, late 90s, because I was born in 94. So that's what my
Okay.
mom had a lot of that playing, like Sarah McLachlan, like just a lot of the big artists of that time,
Right.
folk, kind of indie sounding artists.
Yeah,
So I think they always just had an influence on me growing
that's
up.
cool.
Yeah.
How far away from that scene? What would be something that we would be really surprised to find out that you listen to? Are you like a secret Slayer fan, or do you like hip hop, or what would be as far away as you think we would go? Because I don't believe in guilty pleasures. I believe in you like what you like.
Well, it's kind of funny that you mentioned it. I genuinely enjoy most genres. The only thing that I don't really enjoy is like screaming music, but like if it has a melody to it and a nice beat, like I can pretty much enjoy anything. But if you want to talk about far out there, um my mom used to play this Turkish music
Hmm.
and I used to like try and sing with it. I have no idea what they're saying, but like I still to this day will put that on and like cruise in the car playing Turkish Groove. That's the CD. It's called Turkish Groove.
Oh wow,
And it's like it's just awesome. They have like such cool beats and the instrumentation is just so different from anything that you hear in more Western music. So
definitely, definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
You got some live dates coming up. Is it this coming Saturday in Asbury Park? And then the first part of
Yes.
December, you're playing in Asbury Park, and then in Neptune, New Jersey on the 16th. And I
Yes.
understand you might have some members of the Mylars as your backing live band.
Yes. So that is in the works right now, but yeah, we're putting it together and really looking forward to getting out on the road and playing some full band gigs.
I mean, because Craig played drums on this, correct? Who also is the drummer in the Mylars?
Chris
Chris.
O'Hara.
Okay, yeah, Chris.
Yep.
Chris. Okay, yeah, I'm looking at I can't even read my own writing. Chris. Yes, Chris O'Hara.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he was
awesome.
phenomenal. Like he just came in and just knocked it out. Like like an hour, 4 songs are done. You're like, oh, okay. He's
Wow,
super talented. Yeah.
that is very, very cool. Um, so yeah, you've just given us this song. You've got other songs. You say you're working on one. How soon do we get another now? You've sort of whet our appetite for
Yeah,
stuff.
I know. Um, yeah, so I'm looking to release in early January. I don't have a date yet, but I'm very excited about this next song that I'm working on with Danny that we're working on right now. So yeah, keep an eye out for that.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
And you know, um, going forward, say if you could go out on a tour with someone, hook on like a tour with somebody, go out and tour around, who would be like your dream tour to go out with?
Oh my God. There's this band called Muna, Muna. And
Okay.
I just know all of their albums like front to back, like every word of every song. They're so fun. They're very, very dancey, just really feel good music, but their lyrics are so good. Like a lot of times there's sacrifice, right? It's like, oh, the song has a great beat, but the lyrics mean nothing, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't sacrifice in any way. The lyrics are great. The lead singer is awesome. And their music is really cool. So Muna would be an absolute dream.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I like to finish up with some silly questions. I'm hoping these are questions you haven't been asked before, because I promise you I would get you off so you could catch your breath before your next interview. But I wanted to say we're chatting with Julia Poorman. Her newest single, Already Got It, is out now. The video's up on YouTube, and you're on Spotify too, right?
I am, yes.
Cool. Get that quarter of a cent every 10,000 streams, right?
Yes. That's yeah. Just gotta listen to it a couple million times. That's all.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Silly questions.
Yeah.
Let's see. What is something that you're good at outside of like writing songs, lyrics, creating music? What is something that you're good at outside of that realm?
Ooh. Um, I mean, I guess I really like to run. I don't know. So I guess I'd say I'm good at running.
Okay, very
Yeah.
cool. What is the oddest job you have ever held?
Mm. Oddest. Well, I worked at Subway.
Okay.
So it's not glamorous. I don't know how odd it is, but it was not fun. And I always smelled like bread. I could not get the bread smell out of my hair. So
Do they like require you guys at the Subways to put a head of lettuce on each sandwich?
basically, yeah, it was not a fun experience.
Yeah.
And I don't think the sandwiches tasted that good that I made, but we got through it.
All right. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh. Um I I did well I went on a cruise a few years ago and I sang Tim McGraw by Taylor Swift, which in hindsight I was like probably not the best choice, but I haven't really done that much karaoke. So
Okay. All right. All right. You're near a lot of Asbury Park and everything down there. Roller coaster or the Ferris wheel?
uh I don't even know. There's no roller coasters
There
around here.
isn't.
I don't
There's any down there. All right. All right.
in seaside or like seaside in Point Pleasant.
Okay. Amusement
Yeah.
park rides. Then, if you go to an
Ooh.
amusement park, are you a
Okay,
Ferris
okay.
wheel or a roller coaster girl?
Roller coaster, definitely.
Roller coaster. All
Yeah.
right. Favorite cartoon character?
Ooh, oh my gosh. I'm gonna go with SpongeBob.
SpongeBob. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. OG.
Would you rather have wings to fly or gills to swim underwater?
I would say gills. I have a lot of dreams where I'm underwater and I can breathe, and I think it's the coolest thing. So I'm gonna
Okay.
say gills.
All right. Very cool. Go back in time and eat one of your mom's home cooked meals from your childhood, what would you have her prepare?
Oh my gosh. Okay. She used to make these. I'm vegan now, which is funny, but she used to make these ribs that she would like marinate and sit in the oven for like 3 hours. And there was like a bottle of Guinness in the sauce,
Ooh,
and you would just take the bone. You couldn't even like it would just fall right off. It was so good. So probably that if I ate meat.
awesome. All right, last one, and this is the one we have the most fun with. If they were to
Okay.
make a biopic of your life, what actress would you pick to play you? And it's your life, your movie. You can pick anybody.
Who would play me? It's kind of funny. I'm terrible with actors. Like I'll be like, oh, I know that person, but um, hmm.
I've stumped you.
You have stumped me. I'm
Okay,
on the spot. Maybe like Miley Cyrus, which is funny because she hasn't been acting in a long time,
sure.
but I think she'd do a good job.
Yeah. All right. I gotta get one more in here. I forgot this.
Yeah.
I like to ask this one, and I completely forgot about this one. If you could pick a television show to have already got it placed in, what show would you pick?
Ooh. Um, it's kind of funny because I'm like, what am I watching right now? Um, right now I'm watching Yellowstone.
Okay.
So, I mean, is it the best fit? I don't know, but it would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely get you out there,
Yeah, that's for sure.
Excellent. Once again, we're chatting with Julia Poorman for Let's Discuss with Lancel. Her new single, Already Got It, out on Spotify, YouTube, and all those places. Julia, was there anything I didn't ask you? Anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get to cover in this interview? The floor is yours.
I don't think so. I think you've done a great job. You knew a lot about my history, and I appreciate you taking the time to look that up and ask me really awesome questions. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Once again, we'll give out the website too, juliapoorman.com. You got some cool stuff on there. And look forward to hearing your next tunes when they come out.
All right. Thank you so much.
Take care, Julia. Enjoy the rest
You
of
as
your evening.
well. All right. Bye, Lance.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.